that we understand where we are coming from. So this is the learning objective. We want to equip educators and leaders with practical science-backed strategies to shape good character in our Gen Zs and Gen Alphas using behavior formation principles, because the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas are the 21st century learners that we have. Okay, so we talked about generation. If you want to talk about 21st century learners, we need to start by talking about the other generations before them. And a generation simply means a period of time between 10 to 20 years, 10, 15, 20 years. If you're born within that gap, we'll call you that you belong in that generation. Just the way that some of us go for trainings and they will say, this is cohort 1, cohort 2, cohort 3, stream 1, stream 2, stream 3. So that's the same way we have generations, just to distinguish between the humans and their entry point into planet Earth. So we have people called baby boomers. I don't know if we have baby boomers here. Those are people that are born between 1944 to 1964. Most times we have this kind of people maybe in higher institutions, but in secondary school we still have a few of them. Then we have the Generation S. These are people born between 1965 and 1980. Those are people in my generation. If you're in my generation, let me see your hands. And rep us now, we have to rep ourselves very well. So we have the millennials. They are born between 1981 to 1996. Do we have millennials in the house? Looks like my generation is winning. Then we have Generation Z. That's the people we call Gen Zs. They are born between 1997 to 2010, 2012. Gen Zs, do we have you here? I know we don't have Generation Alpha here. That's the Generation Alphas are people from 12 years and below. They are Generation Alpha. So we don't have them here. So you see, the thing about generation is that every generation thinks that they are better than the new one coming. I remember when I was small, my mom used to say, I don't know what's wrong with you people. This generation of children, they don't used to listen. When we're growing up, we listen to our parents. Then I became an adult, married, and I started raising children. Then I would now start saying, I don't know what's wrong with you people. During my time, then it occurred to me that was the same story my mother was telling me. So somehow it's like the story is passed down to us. We pass it down to the next generation, and they grow up with that idea that their generation is better. When the next generation comes, they tell that same story. During our time, we don't do like this. What's wrong with this generation? And the story keeps going, and that's when we have the battle of this generation is better, that generation is better. It's just perception. So I don't know, we have that activity there. Can you take it back, please? I want you to just sit down in your world and cast your mind back to something that happened when you were a baby. If you can remember what happened and what your parents said about you at that time, how do you think that experience, maybe your father or your mother, your uncle or your auntie or your teacher said something to you that time, how did that thing impact your life as you were growing up? And do you think that thing has influenced some of the things you did in terms of values? Do we have answers?
Yes.
Yes. Good. So we'll come back to that. So we want to talk about this new generation of people we are raising, the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas. How do we build good character in them? So before we can start talking about building good character in them, let's define what character is so that we understand it. So when you are talking about character, you are talking about moral values, these ethical qualities that a person has, good principles, good morals, integrity. We talk about these things and we classify them as character. Character is not something that we are all born with. When they gave birth to you and I, we did not have good character and we did not have bad character. We came empty. We don't have anything called character. But based on how they are raising us, we are now picking up character, qualities. Sometimes we pick good ones, sometimes we pick the bad ones, depending on the environment we are growing up, depending on the kind of parents we had, depending on the uncle or auntie that raised you, depending on the kind of teachers you have, the kind of neighbors, guidance. You can just have good character and not have good character. It just depends. So character is about who you are on the inside, especially when nobody is there. The kind of values you think about, the kind of things you uphold. So, from what I've tried to make us understand, you find out that character is something that we are all learning or we have learned. Is it true? Character is a learned something. Nobody is born with it. So if you have it, good character, you learn good character from somewhere. If you have bad character, you learn it from somewhere. You are not born with it. You learn it. It is a skill or something that we are learning. We do not inherit character from anybody. So if you are fond of saying to a child, you're behaving like your mother, you're behaving like your father, uncle, please, it's not inherited. They learned it. So it is not something they learned from mother or father or uncle as in they inherited. It's not their gene. They learned it. Maybe their father or mother taught them. It can be, but it is not inherited. So again, that means that character can be taught. Somebody can teach you to have good character. Someone can model good character for you to learn it. And somebody can reinforce that behavior and you can learn it. These three things that I've mentioned are the three ways that characters are formed in children. Through teaching them, modeling that behavior, and reinforcing that behavior. So, character is not a personality. Character is not somebody's personality. So you cannot tell a child that you are a bad child or you have bad character. They exhibit bad character. Do we understand that part? So let's move on. So let's go to personality. You see, personality, this is the one that we inherit based on from maybe your mother or your father, because your personality, part of it comes from your genes, your DNA, from your parents. The other part of personalities are the things that you learn from your environment. So if you grow up in a home where your parents are very introverted, they don't talk, and you are talking, they will say, keep quiet. You can't you see this place is quiet? You are the only one making noise. You keep quiet. If they start doing that to you when you were 5-year-old, by the time you get to 15, you will be very introverted. People will not say that's her personality. Is it truly her personality? Is it her personality? Is it his personality? That's the part of environment, conditioning that has affected your personality. It's not your personality. So that part of personality can be changed. But you see the part that is DNA, it cannot be changed. That one is only Jesus Christ that can change it. But you see the part of conditioning, you were conditioned that women don't talk. When people are talking, women keep quiet. If you grow up like that, it is not your personality. You were conditioned to be like that. That is the part of personality that can change. With knowledge, with understanding, with care, someone can change that part of the personality. So that's why it is easy for people. You can decide that I want to change, and you can change because a part of your personality can be changed. So personality and character, they are two different things. And because of this thing, it is not good for us to label people. I talked about label in the afternoon. If you go to a supermarket, you see that each item has a label. Labels are supposed to be permanent things. They don't change. The only thing that will make a supermarket change that label is if they want to change the price. The name will still be the same. They will just change the price. Why? Because it is supposed to be like an identity to help you identify it. So when you now label children in your class to be bad children, stubborn